One was a masterpiece of German engineering. 57 tons of armor with an 88mm gun that could kill anything on the battlefield. The other was a mass-produced American workhorse that caught fire so easily its crews called it the Ronson-lighter. So which tank actually won the war? Two of the most iconic weapons of their era. Head to head. Which one was better? The Tiger was heavier, better armored, and had a bigger gun. The Sherman was lighter, more reliable, and there were a lot more of them. Which tank was really better? Soldiers debated this question in the trenches and on the battlefield. Let us settle it. This is Tiger versus Sherman. The Tiger I weighed 57 tons and carried the legendary 88mm gun. It could destroy any Allied tank at over a mile. The Sherman weighed 33 tons with a 75mm gun that could barely scratch a Tiger's front armor at combat range. In North Africa, a single Tiger destroyed over a dozen British and American tanks in its first engagement. Terror spread through Allied tank crews. Sherman crews developed tactics. Flank the Tiger. Get to the side or rear where the armor was thinner. It took 5 Shermans to kill one Tiger. The Tiger's 88mm could kill a Sherman at 2,000 meters. The Sherman's 75mm had to close to 500 meters for a side shot. The math was terrifying. But the Tiger had a fatal flaw: reliability. It broke down constantly. Its overlapping road wheels froze in Russian mud and ice. The Sherman was incredibly reliable. It ran and ran and ran. When something broke, parts were everywhere. A crew could fix most problems themselves. America built 49,234 Shermans. Germany built only 1,347 Tigers. Numbers overwhelmed quality on every battlefield. The 76mm gun Sherman and the British Firefly with its 17-pounder could penetrate Tiger armor. The odds improved. German Tiger ace Michael Wittmann destroyed 138 tanks and 132 anti-tank guns. But he was killed by a Sherman Firefly in Normandy. The Sherman could cross bridges the Tiger could not. It could be transported by ship easily. It could be maintained in the field. The Tiger consumed enormous amounts of fuel. In a war where Germany was running out of fuel, this was a death sentence. American tankers who survived the war respected the Tiger but loved the Sherman. It brought them home alive. The real answer is simple. The best tank is the one that shows up. The Tiger was better in a fight. The Sherman won the war. Both tanks became legends. The Tiger represents German engineering. The Sherman represents American industrial power. The Tiger was the superior fighting machine, but the Sherman won the war through reliability, numbers, and logistics. 49,234 Shermans versus 1,347 Tigers. But numbers only tell part of the story. In combat, other factors mattered. Training, tactics, supply chains, and sheer luck often decided the outcome. The Tiger versus Sherman debate illustrates the fundamental tension between quality and quantity in warfare. Germany built the best tanks, America built enough tanks. The crews who operated these machines knew their strengths and their weaknesses. In the end, both weapons earned their place in history. This was Tiger versus Sherman. And the debate continues to this day. Military enthusiasts and historians still argue over which was superior. Both weapons represented the best engineering their nations could produce. They were born in war, tested in fire, and remembered forever. The real winner was whichever one kept its crew alive to fight another day. This was Tiger versus Sherman. Which tank was really better? History is not always black and white. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today.